Good morning. This is your AI host, Jay. I'm here with the automatically generated Journato morning headlines on May 3, 2022. UK inquiry to establish whether British components used in Russian weapons. The Guardian, investigation launched over British components in Russian weapons systems. Protests in British Virgin Islands over plan for UK to impose direct rule on territory. What might rising COVID cases in South Africa mean for the UK? The Guardian, South Africa may be entering fifth COVID wave earlier than expected. Ukraine news, live, up to 200 feet civilians still trapped in Mariupol steelworks. The Independent, Nancy Pelosi meets with Zelensky in Kyiv, pledges US support. Politico Europe, Pelosi holds talks on Ukraine with Polish president following meeting with Zelensky in Kyiv. The Independent, Russia-Ukraine latest news, May 1, 2022. Denmark and Sweden summon Russian envoys after Russian spy plane violates airspace. The Independent, Zelensky addresses Russians as Sweden says its airspace is violated. Chester and District Standard, Denmark and Sweden summon Russia's ambassadors after Russian spy plane violates airspace. Millions of tons of grain stuck in Ukraine, says German UN official. The Guardian, Ukraine may lose tens of millions of tons of grain, Zelensky says. Reuters, Russians plunder $5 million farm vehicles from Ukraine, to find they've been remotely disabled. CNN, Russian attacks on Ukraine grain network a move to cut competition, German minister says. Reuters, Ukraine says Russia stole several 100,000 tons of grain. Spanish Prime Minister's phone, targeted with Pegasus spyware. The Guardian, Spanish PM Pedro Sánchez phone hacked using Pegasus spyware. Financial Times, Spanish PM, Pedro Sánchez, victim of Pegasus hacking. The Times, Spanish Prime Minister's phone hit by Pegasus spyware, government says. The Independent, 2021 spyware attack targeted Spanish PM's phone, say officials. Thousands of Ukraine refugees forced into overcrowded homes as UK system branded dysfunctional disaster. The Independent, more than 100 Ukrainian refugees being housed in Southampton. Southern Daily Echo, more visas have been approved for Bolton Ukrainian refugees. The Bolton News, Ukrainian nationals settling into life in Preston and Lancashire. Blog Preston, Ukrainian refugees welcomed to county with Easter event. Alabama hunt for missing prison inmate and guard. BBC, inmate facing murder charge escapes jail with soon-to-retire prison officer. The Mirror, murderer, who escaped with female guard, plotted hostage jailbreak in 2020, and is very violent, victims so. The Sun, Alabama authorities issue arrest warrant for correctional officer who disappeared with murder suspect. The Independent, Alabama man accused of murder and corrections officer disappear. Watch live, Johnny Depp v Amber Heard, Day 12. Sky News, Team Depp or Team Heard? How your answer says a lot about you. The Independent, Amber Heard struck Johnny Depp with a closed fist, security guard testifies. Daily Mail, witness, Amber Heard punched Johnny Depp, tried to spit on him, live now from Fox. British Virgin Islands Premier Andrew Fahey claims immunity in cocaine trafficking case. Sky News, British Virgin Islands Premier demands release from US custody in cocaine case. The Guardian, British Virgin Islands Premier claims immunity in cocaine case. Chester and District Standard, British Virgin Islands, UK Minister dispatched for governance talks. BBC, UK Minister sent to British Virgin Islands for crisis talks. Songs, Tears and Reunions, New Zealand welcomes back visitors as border reopens after 2 years. The Guardian, New Zealand welcomes back international tourists as strict COVID pandemic rules eased. Sky News, New Zealand welcomes first tourists in 2 years as COVID restrictions lifted. The Times, New Zealand welcomes back first tourists as pandemic rules eased. The Independent, New Zealand welcomes back British tourists as border restrictions ease. UK could be plunged into the sea by underwater nuclear strike, Russia state TV threatens. The Independent, Russian nuclear tsunami will wipe out Britain, Kremlin-backed media threatens. The Times, watch, nuclear torpedo strike could engulf Britain with giant radioactive tsunami, Russian TV warns. The Telegraph, UK will be plunged into the sea by nuclear strike, Kremlin propaganda warns. Daily Record, why Russia probably won't launch a nuclear attack on the UK despite propaganda threats. Madeleine McCann, parents of missing girl mark 15 years without her with poignant Winnie the Pooh quote. Sky News, Madeleine McCann suspect Christian Bruckner fails bid to be let out of jail. Daily Record, Madeleine McCann suspect claims he was having sex in camper van at time of girl's disappearance. The Independent, Madeleine McCann, suspect Christian B claims he has an alibi which can be backed by woman. Sky News, Madeleine McCann abduction suspect to be charged by the end of summer. Ukraine war, nurse who lost her legs in landmine blast shares first dance with husband in Lviv hospital. Sky News, touching moment nurse who lost both legs on a Russian mine dances with her new husband in hospital. Daily Mail, Ukrainian nurse has first dance at wedding after losing legs to Russian landmine. The Mirror, Ukrainian woman who lost legs in blast shares first dance with new husband. Israel demands Russia apologise for lie that Hitler had Jewish roots, as row over Lavrov comment deepens. The Independent, Israel summons Russia envoy over minister's Hitler comments. The Guardian, Ukraine evening briefing, 5 developments as Israel demands apology for unforgivable Hitler comment. The Telegraph, Adolf Hitler had Jewish origins, claims Russian minister Sergei Lavrov in rant. Sky News, unforgivable, Russia criticized after claims Hitler had Jewish origins. Boris Johnson to hail Ukraine's finest hour in address to Kyiv Parliament. The Guardian, Ukraine war, UK sends £300 million more in military aid as PM set to praise country's finest hour. Sky News, Boris Johnson to tell Ukraine, this is your finest hour. The Telegraph, this is Ukraine's finest hour PM to address Ukrainian Parliament. Gov. UK, Johnson to evoke Churchill by telling Ukrainian MPs conflict is their finest hour. Ukraine war, evacuation of women and children rescued from Mariupol steelworks to safe city is delayed. Sky News, Ukrainian civilians evacuated from Mariupol steelworks bunker, BBC News. BBC News, Mariupol evacuee recounts terror in bunkers below Azovstal steelworks. The Guardian, people fleeing besieged Mariupol describe weeks of bombardments. Chester and District Standard, civilians fleeing besieged Mariupol describe weeks of bombardment. EU comes to the crunch over Russia's demands to pay roubles for gas. The Guardian, what the Kremlin's roubles for gas threat is about. Politico Europe, EU divided over how to step away from Russian energy. BBC, Germany can no longer ignore the costs of its dependence on Russian energy. The Telegraph, energy experts fear Poland will turn to dirty coal after Russia cuts off gas supplies. This was all for the news. Thanks for listening. Please do not forget to like and subscribe.